say I'm eating. Ew. I'm almost done with episode 1 here. Oh my god. Ah. Oh my god. It feels like that scene in Spider-Man, yeah? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, this is the serpent. Ew. What the hell? Stupid people. That's all. I hope you pick all of them. Mama. Oh no. Eh? Oh, it has caught them. Oh no. That cat. The cat. Oh, this is weird. Can I watch DANDANDAN like this? I just need that Gigi is going to go through hell, yeah? Okay, I already knew that Gigi was going to go through hell. Like the way season 1 ended, there was how he was inside that, like in the room, and he could not sleep all through the night. For someone to stay awake all through the night, not even doze off, just in fear, keeping him up. No, his own story is going to be very long. This Baba, eh? She's so evil and greedy. Ah, I lost my appetite. I lost my appetite. Okay. It's Momo that is to hold him in check whenever he wants to lose his mind to the spirit of the grandma. Yeah. Oh, the mom. How will you save all these people now, eh? Experience. What the hell? What? What is that? I'm done eating. Look at how they do his abs. Very funny. The battery will soon die, so. There's something so peculiar about Dandadan when it comes to children and like CPTSD. I feel like all of this is just allegory for children going through CPTSD. It's not that thing that is to show up in. I don't like the intro. I don't like the opening because the thing that's happening is too intense for me to focus on the opening. Who is this thing? Mr. Gigi-san. Okay, this is the thing that is following him around now, that is not allowing him to sleep at night. This is something that this guy has. No, wait. do another one. Oh, oh my god. No, not Gigi. What's wrong with this creature? I just think that this stuff would be very, very complicated. Oh, child. I think it's interesting that I started talking about children and their CPTSD. And the focus of this drama now, this anime is children growing up in horrible conditions, yeah? Growing up with trauma and abuse. Ah, is that the actual spirit of the volcano? What's going on? Oh, they sacrificed him in ignorance. This same Kiko family. Why did they have to do this to children? Eh? In Dandadan, yes, season one, we started with Momo nearly being like molested by those creepy aliens. Then the double grand wanted to eat um, Okarun's uh, private, and I think that's also a form of an allegory for child abuse, child sexual abuse. And then we are dealing with Gigi now, and Gigi is having a memory of this particular spirit, um, this particular spirit that exists because it was once a child that was starved and traumatized, and then consequently sacrificed to the volcanic gods, supposedly, like some volcano to stop volcano from exploding on the land. Like, I think children are some of the most like oppressed groups on planet Earth. Yeah, and I like that Dandadan does not shy away from all of this. Yeah. Even Topo Granny too. Her story was that she was a small girl, like she's representative of all the high school girls that were violently assaulted, by men in the town. Like everything in Dandadan is just about like CPTSD. Everything in Dandadan is just about CPTSD. Okay, he does not even know what his presence means. Because he wants the child looks at him, the parents will die. Ah, so he's an evil spirit now. And what this evil spirit nature is not of himself now, it's because of the trauma that happened to him. Okay, house is the same place, it's still in the same place. Oh, yeah. And he's still trying to be friendly with the children that is seeing, but their parents end up dying. Okay, the freaking worm It's not his fault. There's a worm in this place. Oh, yeah, he's trying to free the boy. Can't touch it because it's a spirit. But he's not the one that is making these people's parents like off themselves now. He's the earthworm below. Ah, just compounded sadness. At the end of the day, he's still trapped in that same never before. Oh, he met with the boy. He met with the boy. He has already met. I knew that these spirits were eventually met with him. Yeah. And this family, they keep on burying like every new house that is built under, and then somebody will go and build another house on top of it and build and build. Hey, one other cool thing about Dandadan is that it's kind of like Demon Slayer in that the way Tanjiro always gets to the spirit, the person behind the demon, and then he frees them. I feel like not I feel like, but that's actually what is happening in Dandadan too, yeah, where all of them eventually get to the point where they free the person, beneath all of the horrors and the demonic energy and all of that, yeah. Dandadan is just like a very cool allegory for CPTSD. And I feel like if we keep on policing, I was talking about flawed main characters, yeah. Yeah. He's not the one that is driving people to suicide. It's cost. But let's show the screen too. Let's show the screen. Oh my god, that one has come again. Eh? Oh, he's working. Mecha, mecha. Yeah, Ocarina's off. And this worm is around him. Yeah. Let them free this boy now. Let you do it. He says he wants to do. Let him do it. My laptop is soon die because there's no light, so let's just focus on this. Gigi is going to free this boy. Oh, he will merge with this boy. He will merge with Gigi. He will merge with Gigi again. Yeah. This Dandadan is a real spelling out. Yeah. Funny that Gigi is the kind of character that Gigi is the type of person here that he plays a lot, you know, like he's always friendly with people. Even Okaran himself was able to make Okaran feel welcomed, you know. Oh, this will become Gigi's own power. Okay, you shouldn't trust evil eye. Ah, he has taken over Gigi's body. But I feel like this Gigi matter is kind of like that princess ballerina story where the princess Pink or whatever, she eventually met with that spirit instead of dying. Now they are merged. His legs. He's so pissed then, so pissed off at this worm. How many generations of anger this worm is expressing in this moment. Eh? Humans. Ah, I'm so happy. Eh? Ewo. God. The same way Okan had to learn how to separate himself from the turbo energy. Hey, God. Revenge. Kill the one first. Ah, humans, kill the one first. Ewo. Exactly. Ah, let there be lights, please. So I can finish this thing. Like it has not finished airing yet. There's just like it's just from 13 to 19. Wow. Really beating up this thing. Oh. If you can kill it, that would be good. But after killing this Uma or whatever, this Uma X1, they want to start killing people. Also, I think they want to remain in this course house, but they can't remain in this course house now. Like Gigi has to go to school. Look at it, it's still burying itself deep, deep, deep. Come back here. Nonsense. Okaran is still out. Seiko. Okay. Uh-uh. Okay, so that thing that was keeping him awake and scaring him was because he had already seen that Gigi had like special, like genius spiritual ingenuity. I'm not hearing those kids' voices again. Maybe they brought light. So come on, let me check. How do you say wait in Japanese? Mate. Mate. Dead light. I'm not hearing those children's voices. They might be light. Let me go and check. I want to drop my plates. Battery is low. By the time I come back to that, I get some more. Battery died. Ah, hello. So I was watching Dandadan and I was watching it on my laptop, but my laptop cannot last more than 20 minutes without it being plugged to power, and there's no light, so it has died. But I was having fun watching it because I just realized that Dandadan is very, what do you call it? It's a very huge allegory for children and their inner lives, mostly their inner lives when they are traumatized, when they are abused in every shape and form of it, yeah. Like the conception of abuse in the form of demons, spirits, possession, all of those things are all words that if a child does not fully understand what is going on with their bodies, the horror or the hell that they're going through, they can use words like demonic, they can use like, oh, those are demons, the demon under the bed. Meanwhile, it's probably an adult in their life that's making their life hell, and I like it for that reason. Season one of Dandadan ended with that scene of Momo in the onsen and those men approaching her like alligators. Sorry, approaching her like alligators, and she was just wearing a towel. And then in the beginning of season one, it was aliens that were trying to like molest her. And then Okaron, his own issue was that um that double granny wanted to eat his winnies. And for double granny herself, like she's a representative of school girls that were assaulted, yeah, by grown adults, serial killers, weirdos in the area, and I don't think they received appropriate justice. So the grudge and resentment of all of that turned them into that thing, that double granny. Oh, yeah, I feel kind of icky. I'm coming. I need to take sweet. Feel nauseated. I'm going to 30 something minutes now. Can I get to 1 hour? Anyways, open lip eclairs. Anyways, and now we see Gigi, yeah? And these own issues that there's this spirit that follows him all around, yeah? And this spirit, yeah, does not even allow him go to sleep out of fear, and fright. Fear. Because his parents are out of the picture, they're out of commission. And again, you notice that all of these children now, like when people have kids, yeah, when people have kids, they always have this imagination that because they are big and they are adults, yeah, they can control 100% and protect 100% their children. And every time they fail, every time, some of them deceive and delude themselves that they can control 100%, yeah? But most of them come to realize that they are not really in control of their children's lives. Then the protection aspect of it is just an excuse to control your children. Like, when parents think of protection, they always think, oh, those things that I experienced that were adult as I was a child, that were adult coded when I was a child, relationships, bodily autonomy, sex, friendships, money, all of it, like those things that they themselves experience in their childhood / teenagehood or adolescence, they keep it somewhere in their brain and they're like, no, when I have my children, I'm going to make sure they don't do or fall into the traps that I fell into as a child or as a teenager. I'm going to protect them in this way, I'm going to protect them in that way. Well, like, most of them are so short-sighted to see that the world that you grew up into and the world that you grew up into and the world that you are giving birth to your child into are two different worlds. They are like parallel universes. They can never meet. They might have some similarities because of the nature of you guys being human beings, but they are very parallel worlds. Like, and so all the things you think you knew as a child or as a teenager or a young adult, and you're like, I know all of this, all this wisdom, knowledge, all this understanding I have stored, I'm going to apply it to my children's lives in such a way that they can navigate downward. And it's like, you can't. Everything you think you knew, you have to treat the way you're dealing with children, because the children you're giving birth to, they're in a whole new world, from like separate from your own world, so they cannot relate to you and you cannot relate to them. The best you can do is just to hear them out and try to work out a solution for them. But parents, they sort of, most of them, not all of them, most of them unwittingly begin to see themselves as the gods of their children. They are omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, in their children's lives. This is a lie. This is and I think Dandadan was a very, very although extreme, but children live extreme lives, please. Although extreme, Dandadan shows how out of reach adults are to children. Like, children cannot come to you. Like now, a child like Momo comes to meet an adult. It's not that her grandmother is spiritually inclined or psychic or whatever. How is she supposed to explain aliens trying to molest her to her parents? Will they take her serious? No. But it was very real, And if not for the awakening of her psychic powers in that moment, all the parents will just see is that um one day my daughter came home and she just shut me out. You know, I don't know what's going on in my daughter's life. You know, I don't know why she's so sad. I've tried to talk to her, help her. She doesn't want to open up to me. And it's like, if she begins to tell you about alien, what would you do? So, dan dan dan, dan dan dan, dan dan dan, dan dan dan. Every time I say it, I feel like I'm saying two dans instead of three. So I'm looking forward to watching the rest of season 2 when there's light and when it finishes airing. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. So I think I've spent, it's almost 2 o'clock here, and I started going live at around 11:30. The first one had issues with orientation and I stopped it. The second one, I had issues with the title and I stopped it. The third one, I had issues with the description and I stopped it. So I think this is the fifth one. I don't know if I'll make all of them private or I'll upload it. The title is not misleading. The title of this live is not misleading because I was watching it, yeah. So if you watch it, you'll see where I was watching it. Anyways, this is a face mask. If our power system, power corporation graces us with electricity today, maybe I will continue watching Dandadan. Thought of putting this mask on my face is kind of tiring to me. And I even started watching Dandadan because I got bored. Faithful eating is always here for me. I was watching Dandadan and then they took the light, so my laptop cannot stay on without power. That's the end of my watching. I got on to season 2 and then it ended. My battery went off, like my laptop went off. So maybe while I was streaming and they bring light again, we'll enjoy it together. In the meantime, I have a new friend with me here today to keep me company because it seems like most people are not tuning into the live. So, but don't worry, I'm going to be here for longer than yesterday. I feel like I want to get up to 2 hours and see what 2 hours feels like sitting down. Anyways, so far my favorite characters in Dan 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 is Okaron and Momo goes without saying, yeah. Goes without saying, like, they are lovable. I love two of them together. I love how they're navigating their relationship, you know, their friendship slash the budding romance between the both of them. Oh, light, let that be light, please. That would be so cool. Oh, you can watch anime together. Let me check if there's lights. Actually, if there was light though, somebody would have said, "Oh, my pa." Dun. Now I also have to charge my phone as well. That sounds like lights. I haven't named teddy bear. I wonder what I could name them. Has a little heart on it, so sending you perpetual hearts for joining the live stream. Anyways, if there's lights, that would be good. How many times have I spoken about lights? Let me check. Not seen anything, cha. Even when I lose my head, kitty. I don't know how people manage. I think maybe if I had more subs here, I'd have more perks of um going live, like I can pause my live stream or edit it, stuff like that. You fill me up, you fill me up. Ah, should I write something in the chat like um or can I write something in the chat like Dandadan watching is put on pause because of electricity issues? Well, that's what the title says, watching Dandadan. Maybe I should have put watching Dandadan till the light goes off. Also, I think there will be more advantages to using to going live on a system than on mobile phones. Yeah, the view, the controls, maybe much more advanced. I'll try it just to see what it looks like. But the disadvantage of going live on a system on a laptop is that if there is no light that day, your live is going to be threatened with low battery after like 20 minutes. So I've been here for. I wish I just stayed on one stream here from that time I started till now, but I don't know. I'm a very picky person, so I was just stressing about the title, description, and what I was talking about in the former life was that in the previous life was that I had a kind of unpleasant interaction in my chat, and I wasn't even aware that the person was talking about something that was not safe for work. Yeah, and I was even like earnestly talking to them, replying them. So for them to go down that route, I was like, oh my god, maybe I need to state some certain rules. And so I made that live, and I found out in the morning, like just before I began my life. So the thing just threw me off, and I was like, what the? Why am I here? One thing about me is comfort. Comfort is very, very central to my enjoyment of things. It's not comfortable. I don't want to do it. Seems it feels a bit better. Let me see. Let me check if there's light first. There's no light. Ah, so she was to sleep for 100 years only. So it's just that the time was up. Mm. So why did people even bother trying to? You know that thing about sleeping beauty, yeah? According to Grimm's fairy tales, it's just that the princess Briar Rose was cursed to sleep for 100 years, and other princes tried to um, save her, but they all failed and they died miserably in the thorns around the castle. But this prince made it because the 100 years were up, and the thorns around the castle allowed him in, and he got to the room of the princess, and she looked so lovely that he kissed her in her sleep, and she woke up, and the whole castle woke up, and everybody celebrated, and they got married, and they lived happily ever after until they died. Oh, there was once a sheepdog who had not got a kind master, but one who left him to suffer from hunger. When he could bear it no longer, he went sadly away. On the road, he met a sparrow who said, "Brother dog, why are you so sad?" The dog answered, "Because I am hungry and I have nothing to eat." Then said the sparrow, "Brother dog, come with me to the town and I will satisfy your hunger." So they went to the town together, and when they came to a butcher's shop, the sparrow said to the dog, "Stay where you are out there, and I will peck down a piece of meat." He perched upon the stall and looked about to see that he was not noticed. Then he pecked, pulled, and pushed a piece of meat lying near the edge, till at last it fell to the ground. The dog seized it and ran off with it to a corner where it devoured it. Then the sparrow said to him, "Now come with me to another shop, and I'll pull down another piece so that you may have enough." When the dog had gobbled up the second piece of meat, the sparrow said, "Brother dog, have you had enough?" "Yes, I have had enough meat," replied the dog, "but I haven't had any bread." "Oh, you shall have some bread too," said the sparrow. "Come with me." And then he led him to a baker's shop where he pecked at a couple of rolls till they fell down. Then, as the dog still wanted more, he took him to another shop where he pulled down some more bread. When that was consumed, the sparrow said, "Brother dog, is your hunger satisfied?" "Yes," he answered. "Now let us go and walk about outside the town for a bit." So they both went out onto the high road. Now it was very warm weather, and when they had walked a little way, the dog said, "I am tired and I want to go to sleep." "Oh, by all means," answered the sparrow. "I will sit upon this branch in the meantime." So the dog lay down upon the road and fell fast asleep. While he lay there sleeping, a carter came along driving a wagon with three horses. The wagon was laden with two casks of wine. The sparrow saw that he was not going to turn aside but was going on in the track in which the dog lay, and he called out, "Carter, don't do it or I'll ruin you." But the carter grumbled to himself, "You won't ruin me," cracked his whip, and drove the wheels of his wagon right over the dog and killed him. Oh no, why now? Poor dog. The sparrow cried out after him, "Carter, you have killed my brother dog. It will cost you your wagon and your team." "My wagon and my team, indeed. What harm can you do me?" asked the carter as he drove on. The sparrow crept under the tarpaulin and pecked at the bung hole of one of the casks till the bung came out and all the wine trickled away without the carters being aware of it. When he looked round and saw the wine dripping from the wagon, he examined the casks and found that one was empty. "Alas, poor man that I am," he cried. "Not poor enough yet," said the sparrow as he flew up to the head of one of the horses and pecked out his eyes. When the carter saw what he was doing, he seized his chopper to throw it at the sparrow, but the bird flew away, and the chopper hit the horse on the head, and he dropped down dead. "Alas, poor man that I am," he cried. "Not poor enough yet," said the sparrow. As the carter drove on with his two horses, the sparrow again crept under the tarpaulin and pecked the bung out of the cask, so that all the wine ran out. When the carter perceived it, he cried again, "Alas, poor man that I am." But the sparrow answered, "Not poor enough yet." And he seated himself on the head of the second horse and pecked its eyes out. The carter ran up with his big chopper and struck at him, but the sparrow flew away and the blow hit the horse and killed it. "Alas, poor man that I am," cried the carter. "Not poor enough yet," said the sparrow as he perched on the head of the third horse and pecked out his eyes. In his rage, the carter struck out at the sparrow with his chopper without taking aim, missed the sparrow but hit his last horse on the head and fell down dead. "Alas, poor man that I am, not poor enough yet. Now I will bring poverty to your home." And he flew away. Had the illustrations of the prince going to see the briar rose, the sleeping beauty, and the king that was happy that he had a child. Okay, let's continue our story. Hey God, I'm so sorry for the noise. It's my iron, my metal. Need to. The carter had to leave his wagon standing and he went home full of rage and fury. "Ah," he said to his wife, "what misfortunes I have had today. The wine has all run out of the casks and my three horses are dead." "Alas, husband," she answered, "whatever kind of evil bird is this which has come into our house? He has assembled all the birds in the world and they have settled on our maize and they are eating it clean up." He went up into the loft where thousands and thousands of birds were sitting on the floor. They had eaten up all the maize, and the sparrow sat in the middle of them. Then the carter cried out, "Alas, poor man that I am, not poor enough," answered the sparrow. "Carter, it will cost you your life yet." And he flew away. Now the carter, having lost all that he possessed, went downstairs and sat beside the stove, very angry and ill-tempered. But the sparrow sat outside the window and cried, "Carter, it will cost you your life yet." The carter seized his chopper and threw it at the sparrow, but he only smashed the window and did not hit the bed. Then the sparrow hopped in and perched on the stove and cried, "Carter, it will cost you your life." The carter, mad and blind with rage, smashed the stove to atoms, but the sparrow fluttered hither and thither till all the furniture, the little looking glass, the bench, the table, and at last the very walls of his house were destroyed, but without ever hitting the sparrow. At last he caught it in his hand. Then said his wife, "Shall I kill it?" "No," he cried. "Thou be too good for it. It shall die a much worse death. I will swallow it." And he took it and gulped it down whole. But the bird began to flutter about in his inside, and at last fluttered up into the man's mouth. He stretched out his head and cried, "Carter, it will cost you your life yet." Then the carter handed his chopper to his wife and said, "Wife, kill the bird in my mouth." Then the woman hit out, but she aimed badly and hit the carter on the head, and down he fell dead. The sparrow, however, flew out and right away. That is so funny. So the next story, the 12 dancing princesses. There was once a king who had 12 daughters, each more beautiful than the other. They slept together in a hall where their beds stood close to one another. And at night, when they had gone to bed, the king locked the door and bolted it. But when he unlocked it in the morning, he noticed that their shoes had been danced to pieces, and nobody could explain how it happened. So the king sent out a proclamation saying that anyone who would discover where the princesses did their night dancing should choose one of them to be his wife and should reign after his death. But whoever presented himself and failed to make the discovery after 3 days and nights was to forfeit his life. A prince soon presented himself and offered to take the risk. He was well received, and at night he was taken to a room adjoining the hall where the princesses slept. His bed was made up there, and he was to watch and see where they went to dance, so that they could not do anything or go anywhere else. The door of his room was left open too. But the eyes of the king's son grew heavy, and he fell asleep. When he woke up in the morning, all the 12 had been dancing, for the soles of their shoes were full of holes. The second and third evenings passed with the same result, and then the prince found no mercy, and his head was cut off. Okay, why? Why are they obsessed with what women do in their private times? Oh my God, deserved. Many others came after him and offered to take the risk, but they all had to lose their lives. Now it happened that a poor soldier who had been wounded and could no longer serve found himself on the road to the town where the king lived. There he fell in with an old woman who asked him where he intended to go. "I really don't know myself," he said, and added in fun, "I should like to discover where the king's daughters dance their shoes into holes, and after that to become king." "That is not so difficult," said the old woman. "You must not drink the wine which will be brought to you in the evening, but must pretend to be fast asleep." Oh, some of these kind of tips, it's just as if it's like common sense basically, and it's always an old woman helping out or an animal, never a man. These people were onto something. Whereupon she gave him a short cloak, saying, "When you wear this, you will be invincible." Okay, there's special powers involved. "And then you can sleep out after the 12 princesses." As soon as the soldier heard this good advice, he took it up seriously, plucked up courage, appeared before the king, and offered himself as suitor. He was as well received as the others and was dressed in royal garments. In the evening, when bedtime came, he was conducted into the anteroom. As he was about to go to bed, the eldest princess appeared. Oh, no wonder. Bringing him a cup of wine, but he had fastened a sponge under his chin and let the wine run down into it, so that he did not drink one drop. Then he lay down, and when he had been quiet a little while, he began to snore as though in the deepest sleep. The 12 princesses heard him and laughed. The eldest said he too must forfeit his life. Then they got up, opened cupboards, chests, and cases, and brought out their beautiful dresses. They decked themselves before the glass, skipping about and reveling in the prospect of the dance. Only the youngest sister said, I don't know what it is. You may rejoice, but I feel so strange. A misfortune is certainly hanging over us. You are a little goose, answered the eldest. You are always frightened. Have you forgotten how many princes have come here in vain? Why, I need not have given the soldier a sleeping draught at all. The blockhead would never have awakened. When they were all ready, they looked at the soldier, but his eyes were shut and he did not stir. So they thought they would soon be quite safe. Then the elders went up to one of the beds and knocked on it. It sank into the earth and they descended through the opening, one after the other, the eldest first. The soldier, who had noticed everything, did not hesitate long but threw on his cloak and went down behind the youngest. Halfway down, he trod on her dress. She was frightened and said, what was that? Who is holding on to my dress? Don't be so foolish. You must have caught on a nail, said the eldest. Then they went right down, and when they got quite underground, they stood in a marvelously beautiful avenue of trees. All the leaves were silver and glittered and shone. The soldier thought, I must take away some token with me. And as he broke off a twig, a sharp crack came from the tree. The youngest cried out, all is not well. Did you not hear that sound? Those are triumphal salutes, because we shall soon have released our princes, said the eldest. Next they came to an avenue where all the leaves were of gold, and at last into a third where they were of shining diamonds. For from both these he broke off a twig, and there was a crack each time, which made the youngest princess start with terror. But the eldest maintained that the sounds were only triumphant salutes. They went on faster and came to a great lake. Close to the bank lay 12 little boats, and in every boat sat a handsome prince. Oh, they had expected the 12 princes, and each took one with him, but the soldier seated himself by the youngest. Then said the prince, I don't know why, but the boat is much heavier today, and I am obliged to row with all my strength to get it along. I wonder why it is, said the youngest. Unless perhaps it is the hot weather. It is strangely hot. On the opposite side of the lake stood a splendid, brightly lighted castle, from which came the sound of the joyous music of trumpets and drums. Why will kings not leave their princesses alone? And the soldier danced to unseen. Okay, wait. Um, from which came the sound of joyous music of trumpets and drums. They rowed across, and every prince danced with his love, and the soldier danced to unseen. If one of the princesses held a cup of wine, he drank out of it, so that it was empty when she lifted it to her lips. This frightened the youngest one, but the eldest always silenced her. They danced till 3 next morning, when their shoes were danced into holes, and they were obliged to stop. The princes took them back across the lake, and this time the soldier took his seat beside the eldest. On the bank, they said farewell to their princes and promised to come again the next night. When they got to the steps, the soldier ran on ahead, lay down in bed, and when the 12 came lagging by slowly and wearily, he began to snore again very loud, so that they said, we are quite safe as far as he is concerned. Then they took off their beautiful dresses, put them away, placed the worn-out shoes under their beds, and lay down. The next morning, the soldier determined to say nothing, but to see the wonderful doing again. Sorry. Everything was just the same as the first time, and they danced each time till their shoes were in holes. But the third time, the soldier took away a wine cup as a token. When the appointed hour came for his answer, he took the 3 twigs and the cup with him and went before the king. The 12 princesses stood behind the door listening to hear what he would say. When the king put the question, where did my daughters dance their shoes to pieces in the night? He answered, with 12 princes in an underground castle. Then he produced the tokens. The king sent for his daughters and asked them whether the soldier had spoken the truth. As they saw that they were betrayed and gained nothing by lies, they were obliged to admit it all. Thereupon the king asked the soldier which one he would choose as his wife. He answered, I am no longer young, give me the eldest. So the wedding was celebrated that very day, and the kingdom was promised to him on the king's death. But for every night which the princes had spent in dancing with the princesses, a day was added to their time of enchantment. Okay, I don't understand. So the wedding was celebrated that very day, and the kingdom began. But for every night which the princes had spent in dancing with the princesses, a day was added to their time of enchantment. I don't understand. I have to think about that one very deeply. Okay, we have crossed the 1 hour mark. Let's keep going. The fisherman and his wife. There was once a fisherman who lived with his wife in a miserable little hovel close to the sea. This is not Coca-Cola, this is a random soda. He went to fish every day, and he fished and fished. And at last one day, as he was sitting looking deep down into the shining water, he felt something on his line. I feel like sleeping. Should I just end the live here? I wanted to get to 2 hours, bro. Should I just keep trying? Or like, what should I do? There's no light, so you can't watch Dandadan anymore. And I'm reading this book for. I've read like 2 stories now. Yeah, I don't think I want to read this third story. Um, I think I can open a new book to read. Yeah, instead of these fairy tales. Um, what? Okay, hold on. Let me get the other book. So when I went to the room, I looked at my bed and I was like, I think I want to lay down and sleep. So I think this is where I'm going to end this stream. Again, we could not make it to the 2 hour mark, and I ended up not doing my get ready with me as I planned. So I will end it here. Thank you for checking me out. Bye. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow has to be better. Okay.